to allow the presiding officer designated to continue with her job. We will now take this opportunity and afford all members to have a silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. Honorable members, this is a budget debate of the legislature into vote 11, Cogta department, that we are conducting through virtual means. You are reminded that this budget debate will be conducted in terms of the rules for virtual meetings, which is applicable to all virtual meetings read with our existing standard rules. The rules for virtual meetings also define present as follows. Present means the attendance of a member in a virtual meeting by electronic means in a manner that allows the member to join and participate in the meeting. Our standing rules provide that a majority of the members of a committee constitute a quorum. The table staff have confirmed that we have the required number of members present in order to commence the session. The meeting is therefore properly constituted and may formally continue. In terms of connectivity, members, before we proceed with the budget debate, I must reiterate the ruling of the Speaker relating to addressing connectivity problems. The Speaker has ruled that the following measures will be adopted to try and assist members who may not be able to participate due to connectivity issues. 1, if a member has connectivity problems, the presiding officer will continue with other speakers on the speakers list for the debate. If the members regains connectivity before the response to the debate has commenced, the presiding officer will be flexible in applying the speakers list, and the member will be allowed to continue and finalize his or her speech as long as the member reconnects prior to commencement of the response to the debate. Secondly, we also ask members who are debating to allocate a fellow party member who will be able to take over the member's speech and read the member's speech into the record. Presiding officers will then allow the fellow party member to take over the member's speech. Thirdly, if all else fails and the member is unable to present his or her speech or to get another party member to take over, it is directed that the member may submit his or her speech to the Secretary of the Legislature, and the speech will be included in the record of the debate. If a member does have connectivity problems, we will follow the above guidance to try and assist members. I hope this is in order. Members not debating are reminded at all times to mute their microphones and switch off their cameras. Also, members are requested to take care of any noise in the background that interferes with the broadcast of the proceedings. Honorable members, I further wish to confirm that the Budget Report 2021-22 of the Cooperative Governments and Traditional Affairs Portfolio Committee has been tabled in terms of the virtual rules. We will now proceed with the matters on the agenda, being the debate on vote 1. I therefore wish to invite the Honorable MEC to present the budget vote. Honorable MEC, you have exactly 45 minutes. Thank you very much. Can we be assisted?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Greeting to you and greeting to Honorable Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Honorable Zigalala, members of the Provincial Executive Council, honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, Inkosi Uchiliza, the Chair of the Provincial House of Traditional Leaders, Makosa Sendlunkulu, present, the Acting Chair of SALCA, Chair of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable Cele, and all portfolio members, mayors and councillors of the municipality, DG and all HODs and all government officials, citizens of KwaZulu-Natal. Mr. Chair, the theme of this financial year or this year is working together towards local government tasks work better for the people. Mr. Chair, today as we're presenting this budget speech, vote level, cooperative governance and traditional affairs, as we do so, we acknowledge your effort, Mr. Chair, those of your capable team in this institution in ensuring that our own work in advancing service delivery is always subject to rigorous parliamentary oversight. Akukho bungasilungiselela umshophi osehlele njengesizwe sakaZulu nanjengomnyango obhekele izindaba zomdabu siqheke engeqiwa ntwala ngokundlula kwangangezwe lakhe kanye nondlunkulu uMantofu eMadlamini Zulu obe yibamba bukhosi ngemuva kokukhothama kwesilo. Angisho ukuthi kuhlanga lomhlabathi besisalindele ukuncela ulwazi oluningi mayelana ngomlando kanye nesakhiwo sobukhosi kulesifundazwe. Kanti uNdlunkulu uMadlamini Zulu besisalindele ukuthi aqhube nokudlala iqhaza lokufundisa abantwana bethu ngamasiko abo ikakhulukazi amatshitshi. Siyafisa ukudluliswa amazwi enduduzo kwindlunkulu yonkana. The COVID-19 balance sheet, Mr. Chair and honorable members, even the most pessimistic among us could not have imagined the magnitude and the ferocity of the storm that hit us in the early 2020. More than a year later, this province has lost more than 10,000 lives to the COVID-19 pandemic, out of more than 300,000 positive cases that have been identified. These are not just numbers, these are the lives of the people that have lost within the province. They are felt in families, in their workplace, in the communities. Every one of us have been affected by the COVID-19. Many of us have been infected or know someone who has been infected. Many of us have lost our loved ones, friends, neighbors, and colleagues. The size of the storm was greater than everything we had experienced in KZN before. As Cogta alone, this pandemic has robbed us 10 dedicated employees whose sudden absence has left a massive void in our operation. As much as in our hearts and minds, they include 2 senior managers who were pivotal in saving the institution of traditional institution in the province. Similarly, we have lost more than 145 officials from our municipalities. However, Mr. Chair, even as we deeply saddened by the effect of pandemic, we still want to applaud our President, the Minister of Health, the Minister of Cogta, the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, MEC of Health in KwaZulu-Natal, for always leading from the front. Bebesekhaleni lalempi futhi bayidudulile kwezakala. I once read a quote that said, open quote, the strength grows in the moment when you think you can't go on, but you keep going anyway, close quote. This is exactly what we have experienced as we navigated these devastated times in our history. The overview of performance in 2020-21 financial year, Mr. Chair, we present this budget policy statement on the hill of the achievement that we cannot help but we're proud of. For the 2019-2020 financial year, the Auditor General has rewarded our hard work with the clean audit report for both vote level for a department and also traditional levies and trust account. For this, we give credit to the whole Cogta team led by HOD, Mr. Tubane Siya Bulela Mhlekazi. 2 decades of the new local government. As COVID-19 ravaged our committees through 2020, we took a moment to reflect on the journey we have traveled over the past two decades since the Municipal Systems Act was introduced in 2000. It is a journey that has gone smoothly in some respect, but has been a bum ride in others. It is a remarkable feat that a single and unified local government system has been designed and established from the fragmented, undemocratic, unaccountable, and racial divided system we inherited. A remarkable achievements have been made in the delivery of water, electricity, and sanitation. Mechanisms have been put in place in financial accountability through introduction of the Municipal Financial Management Act and in various oversight structures in municipalities. In some instances, however, the overall promise of democratic accountability and delivery of service to improve the lives of the citizens have proven to be challenging in the implementation. Mr. Chair, this is where the department comes in. Our effort in supporting the municipalities have involved in one-size-fits-all to differentiated and a targeted approach. We are now equipped to detect the weaknesses early, and we act immediately to address the issues such as the poor audit outcome or revenue and expenditure management in our municipalities. We also acknowledge skills gap and steps ready to develop or to share our own technical expertise and capacity where is needed. You will know, Mr. Chair and other members, that this year is a year of local government elections. Hence, this budget speech is to report on the progress made in the implementation of the commitment we have made in this August House and the people of our province a year ago. It is also an opportunity to present not only a set of commitments for 2021-2022, but a broader vision for local government and traditional institutions in KZN. But first thing first, it is our plan for the immediate future as we still fight for the pandemic and gear up another milestone in the local government calendar. Local government election should take place on the 27th October 2021. Our role as a department in the municipal election is mere supportive, and our appeal, our voter registration, participation in this election are strictly apolitical. We believe that high turnout in local government election and ultimately enhance legitimacy of local government institutions. For the upcoming election, we have compiled a consolidated KZN election support plan, which is already being implemented. Mr. Chairperson, as we present in this August House, what we have managed to achieve over the past years, we cannot overlook the serious burden the pandemic has imposed in our operation. Key to this adoption was to reprioritization of budget, which meant that many programs we had previously deemed crucially had to be deferred. We did this mindful of the fact that service delivery still needed to continue, maybe even more accelerated pace than before. In Program 1, Chairperson, which is administration, departmental skills audit, as per the commitment made by the Honorable Premier State in the province address in 2019 and 2020. The skills audit for the senior and the middle management was commissioned, and the skills audit was compulsory for all officials in this category and has been completed. Its outcome will guide the department in respect of the skills development need. Commitment to preferential procurement target. Our overall procurement budget in 2020-2021 amounted in 311 million, in line with the 2017 preferential procurement regulation. Our real RET objectives are being implemented by utilizing a holistic and focused strategy to promote a black economic empowerment. In advancing the specific designated group in our preferential procurement program, we have spent the following fraction in our procurement expenditure. In women, we have spent 22.9%, youth 35.3%, military veteran 0.5%, people living in rural areas 1.2%, people living in townships 7.15%, the business owned by the cooperative is 0.2%. And Program 2, implementation of 2019 State of Local Government Report, Mr. Chair, you will recall that in last year when we reported the length of defined reserves of the State of Local Government report, we conducted in June 2019 the most comprehensive assessment of the State of Local Government to date. The report focuses on the state of the governance and financial management, the service delivery in all our 54 municipalities in the province. The following 21 municipalities which were identified as distressed in 2019 were to be supported in order to return the stability. Those are eThekwini, Ugu, Umdoni, Umzumbe, Umgungundlovu, Umngeni, Impendle, Alfred Duma, Umvoti, Amajuba, Newcastle, Danhouse, Zululand, Nongoma, Edumbe, Mkhanyakude, Hlabisa Big Five, King Cetshwayo, Inkandla, Ubuhlebezwe, and Umzimkhulu municipality. Of the 21 municipalities reported during the 2020-21, the total of 12 returned the stability, while the 8 others remain in the distress during the 2020-21, namely eThekwini, Ugu, Mgungundlovu District, Umngeni, Amajuba, Newcastle, Dumbe, Mkhanyakude, and moreover, Umshwathi, Umzimkhulu, and Jozini were targeted close monitoring since the regress to qualified audit for the first time in 2028-2019 audit year. The latest edition are Zululand, Ingutu, and Umdoni. This then meant a department supported 14 municipalities that had been identified as being under distress in 2020-2021. Mr. Chairperson, I can assure this August House that our monitoring of municipal performance adhere to the strictest standard, and it is comprehensive, continuous, and thorough. We conduct regular municipal visits. We provide hands-on support when or where necessary. We hold the weekly NEVS center meetings as we monthly meetings of the departmental various business unit with the municipalities management team. We support municipalities under administration. We also provided support to implementation of the intervention program targeting the municipalities that had been placed under Section 139(1)(b) of the Constitution by the Provincial Executive Council. 9 municipalities under intervention were monitored in line with the recovery plan. The recovery plans monitored include those of Mpofana, Msunduzi, Richmond, Uthukela, Inkosi Langalibabele, Umzinyathi, Ntobatoba, Emadlangeni, Nabaqulusi municipalities. The intervention in Richmond has been terminated as the municipality has shown a vast improvement. 7 out of the 9 municipalities have established a war room to monitor the progress on intervention. They are Mpofana, Msunduzi, Uthukela, Inkosi Langalibabele, Umzinyathi, Mtubatuba, and Nabaqulusi. Most recently, in February 2021, the 2 other municipalities were placed under administration, which are Ngutu and Umkhanyakude district. In implementation of consequence management in municipalities during 2020-21, we tabled a total forensic reports in terms of Section 106 of the Municipal Systems Act at the municipalities, namely Umsunduzi, Ugu, Richmond, Alfred Duma, and Uthukela district. We have also monitored the implementation of recommendation of all the forensic report tabled to date. A total of 526 forensic findings were implemented as a result of this exercise. A database of progress made in the implementation of recommendation has been updated on the monthly basis. Local government toolkit, Mr. Chairperson, our effort in strengthening the policy environment in municipalities have during 2020-21 given a rise of consolidated local government toolkit. Its purpose is to provide a template of municipal policy processes, procedure, which may be adapted and adopted by the municipality. The toolkit has been rolled out to municipalities in a series of various sessions, and many are already making use of it. The debt owed to ESCOM, one of the challenges we faced last year was the increasing debts owed to ESCOM by the municipalities, particularly Dumbe, Ntonjaneni, Newcastle, Abaqulusi, Inkosi Langalibabele, Msunduzi, Ulundi, and Mpofana. To address this challenge, we have mediated between the municipality and the ESCOM to find a solution that would allow these municipalities to pay off their debts monthly at the sustainable rate. Our mitigation efforts have produced a payment plan which have since enabled Edumbe, Mthonjaneni, Abaqulusi, Nkosi Balele, Msunduzi to settle their ESCOM debts in fully. That means they are no longer owing ESCOM. The remaining municipalities, that is Newcastle, Mpofana, and Ulundi, are working to settle their debts as well to ESCOM in accordance with the payment plan that we have agreed with the municipalities and ESCOM. ESCOM is, for its part, has recommended the stride taken by the department in facilitating a reduction and settlement of the debts owned by the municipality in the province, and this effect. The Rapid Response Integrated Complaint Management System, we have established a rapid response team and integrated complaint management system in all municipalities. A community protest occurred. Our rapid response strategy is being implemented following the prescribed protocol of dealing with the complaints. In Program 3, Mr. Chairperson, Unity Development and Planning, condition assessment of existing infrastructure. Mr. Chair, as part of the KZN Provincial Water Master Plan, we have successfully completed the State of the Service Delivery Infrastructure Assessment, which we announced in this August House last year. This exercise aimed to assess the state of the existing water, sanitation, and electricity infrastructure in each district and the metro. The assessment completed in August 2020 at the cost of 100 million, and it resulted in the form of the key component of KZN Provincial Water Master Plan, and demonstrates that the current reinstatement caused the dysfunctional water, sanitation, and electricity infrastructure across the province is approximately 11 billion. We are now in the position of the fact that on the ground and the price tag attached on immediately as well as the long-term needed. Implementation of the accelerated water program, we've made available the grant of 84 million to various water service authorities to accelerate the delivery of water in the sum of hotspot. This includes acceleration project to Ugu district focusing on Mtavuma pump station upgrade of electricity supply of the value of 14 million, the installation of the soil commitment on the Umzimkhulu River in Ugu district, additional of 30 borehole for Herigwala district to the value of 15 million, upgrade of water to a royal household to the value of 1.9, and another 2.3 million for the Amajuba district to address the urgent water challenges in Emadlangeni and Danhouse. KZN Provincial Water Master Plan, as promised last year, we've developed the Provincial Water Master Plan in recognition of the serious impact of poor state of water service delivery could have on food security, health and welfare and socio-economic development of KZN. We are extremely proud of this achievement, the first of its kind in the country. We have been lauded in the several national platforms, and our Provincial Water Master Plan is to be used as a model on other provinces. The Provincial Water Master Plan contains the analysis of the current level of access and available water services in each ward in the province, an evaluation of the current demand and the future trends, the estimate of projected and future demand up to 2050, an analysis of available of water resources focused on the smaller dam, extensive assessment of the condition of existing water infrastructure, but the bottom line where the approximately 425 households in this province still lack access to water via installed water infrastructure. Aimed with such a comprehensive planning tool, a determination to implement it, we would like to assure Mr. Tumsane Kupega from Ward 23 at Newcastle Municipality, who engages on the water and sanitation issues on his community. During the recent public meeting we had in his area, we're already attending his concern. Just last week, we launched a 20 million sanitation project at Newcastle at Ward 9 through some 300 households have benefited. On support on water, On support in the provision of water in schools. During the COVID-19 pandemic throughout 2020-2021, we facilitated the provision of water to schools by facilitating a discussion with mayors and officials from the water service authorities and the Provincial Department of Education and SALGA in order to unblock all the identified bottlenecks. We also facilitated the signing of the service level agreement between the parties concerned to ensure that successful distribution of water to our children. Electricity delivery, we have committed to support our Jozini municipality with the implementation of electricity project whose design were funded in 2018-2019. We are now going to move ahead and appoint service providers for our Kolosi from Ward 1 to Ward 4 and Jozini Ward 4 in light of the recent power cuts and the need to invest in alternative energy. And municipality will be assisted to develop alternative energy policies and benchmarking against eThekwini Metro, which is targeted to reach a target of 50% alternative energy self-generation by 2020 and 100% by 2050. Sustainable of local government development program. The pandemic has exposed us a number of economic issues that require dedicated support within the local government sector. Due to the harsh impact of COVID-19 on the economy, LED have played a key role in the revitalization of the economy and rebuilding the economic advantage in the local space. The provincial economic recovery plan require a well-skilled municipal official in LED unit and the district development agencies. District development agents and COVID-19 economic recovery reconstruction plan. We have supported 7 DDAs to be functional and effective, and these are Ukuherikwala, Uthukela, Mzinyathi, Mkhanyakude, Ilembe, and Umgungundlovu to drive economic growth in this district. The remaining 3 districts, King Cetshwayo, Majuba, and Zululand, are yet to ensure functionality of their DDAs, and the DDAs have been instrumental in developing economic recovery plan aligned to the provincial economic recovery plan. Mass job opportunities, 46,316 job opportunities were created. 2020-2021, we have created 46,316 job opportunities, including 250 in service training, 45,250 CWP workers, 500 municipal interns, 222 job opportunities through PWP infrastructure project monitoring, 36 infrastructure young professionals, 15 assistants to financial experts deployed to municipalities, and 65 departmental interns. Of these, more than 12,000 are youth and more than 38,000 are female, and more than 400 are people living with disability. Implementation of district development model. The newly established DDM enhance intergovernmental relations to achieve integrated planning, budgeting, implementation among the 3 spheres of government, which our municipality district at the forefront of this effort. The new model also intensifies the Operation Sukumasake approach, which ensures that citizens are heard and their needs are addressed. The implementation of this model in KZN, however, is only as strong as weekends link. The review of the provincial spatially development framework, we have concluded work on the report on the policy concept on the vision directive of spatially development and provincial spatially challenges and opportunities. The implementation of framework in this regard is yet to be finalized due to the delay caused by the COVID-19 lockdown. We anticipate that the framework will be finalized in the 4th quarter of 2021-2022. Municipal infrastructure grant spending performance 2020-2021, the MEG allocation in KZN stood at 3 billion, the highest allocation of the 9 provinces. Our province has 51 municipalities that receive a grant, and they collectively spend 74.70% of allocation at the end of March 2021. This places us as the best of the 9 provinces in expenditure performance, and this is a result of this departmental support effort. The highest performing municipality is at the end of the March 2020-21, where Mhlabiyalingana, Zululand, Abaqolusi, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Umzinyathi, and Umuzwabantu municipalities. The program 4 on traditional institution administration, COVID-19 intervention to support institution of traditional leaders. Mr. Chairperson, ngiyafisa ukubalula iqhaza elibalulekile kakhulu elibanjwe ubuholi bomdabu obuholwa usihlalo wendlu obuholi bendabuko esifundazweni sethu inkosi uChiliza ekulweni nobhubhana lo-COVID eseluthathe izimpilo zabantu abaningi. Kuzokhumbuleka ukuthi ngenkathi umongameli wezwe memezela ukuvala thaqa kwezwe, amakhosi aba soqhulwini lokulekelela uhulumeni ukubhula umlilo kanye nokusabalisa umyalezo kahulumeni. Eminye yemilayezo ifaka phakathi izindlela ezintsha zokuqhuba imingcwabo ezweni lakithi. We have further supported the leadership of both the provincial and local House of Traditional Leaders to participate in their respective command councils to contribute towards integrated response to COVID-19 in rural areas. We also procured a tablet and routers for the entire ESCO of the provincial house, which included the chairperson of the local house, to enable Amakosi to participate in their visual platform that discuss COVID-19 prevention strategy. Implementation of Traditional Council Support Plan, Section 6 of the Traditional Leadership and Governance Framework Act provide the national and provincial government may put in place measures to support and strengthen the capacity of Traditional Council, enable them to fulfill their function. To this end, we have developed a Traditional Council Support Plan on the basis of the assessment of the state of the institution of traditional leadership conducted in the previous year. Updating on the outstanding family trees, we have experienced challenges in updating the outstanding 12 traditional family trees. The challenges included attempt to secure date to finalize the family trees while the 12th family would not cooperate with the update program. However, the progress relating to the update family trees in relation to the newly recognized Amakosi, the total of 13 trees have successfully been updated. Killing of Izinduna and Amakosi. Chair, this is one of the thorny issue under traditional institution. There is a growing concern about the rampant killings of Izinduna, Amakosi, and their aides, which have continued unabated in KZN. These matters have increasingly destabilizing the institution and traditional leadership. We have started the process aimed at accelerating the resolution of the matter case, working with the Justice, Crime Prevention, Security Cluster, which is chaired by Honorable MEC Nkonyeni, and the law enforcement agencies to address this, Scott, and we will form internal committee comprised of departmental officials, traditional leaders from the provincial house of the traditional leaders, as well as a representative from Izinduna to deal with the issues of killing of Izinduna and Amakosi. Imbizo with traditional structures and stakeholders to stop the killing of Izinduna and Amakosi. We anticipate, Chair, that within a month we will convene Imbizo comprising of Amakosi, Izinduna, and law enforcement agencies and all other relevant stakeholders to devise a plan to put an end to the killing of Izinduna and Amakosi in KZN. Imbizo will be convened in compliance with all the relevant COVID-19 protocol. Budget 2021-22 budget in the wider policy context. Mr. Chairperson, 2021-2022 budget is notably constrained by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Its impact on the sphere of local government, as well as the need to consolidate public finances in the context of the slower growth and rising public debt. Our improved financial management will ensure the value of money under the efficient and transparent SCM system. Our focus on the good governance, sound financial management, and effective service delivery is further underscored by the need to ensure free and fair local government election later this year. On the specific pronouncements for 2021-2022 in support of the MTFS goals, under Program 1, Mr. Chairperson, the targeted procurement 2021-2022 will embark on 30% of our public procurement budget for awarding to SMEs, cooperatives, township and rural-based enterprise, and the people living with disability will also utilize the holistic and focused strategy to promote BE in ensuring that 60% of all bids are awarded to Black African, as follows: as 30% of procurement going to women, 10% military, and 5% to veteran, and 5% to people living with disability, and 15% to youth. Cleaning departmental books. In 2020-21, we ensured that the prior year's irregular expenditure was reduced from 606,827 to 303,222. Even more effort will be invested in 2021-22 to address the remaining irregular expenditure in order to clean the departmental books. For Program 2, Mr. Chairperson, which is the deployment of local government specialists, in 2021-2022 will further decentralize support to municipalities through the deployment of dedicated local government specialists in each of the 10 districts and the metro. This will improve the coordination and facilitate the resolution of service delivery issues on the ground where it matters most, particularly as we approach 2021 local government election. In supporting these municipalities and multidisciplinary district support teams will be deployed in every jurisdiction that require their assistance. Employment of community development workers. Our CDW have played a pivotal role in the fight against COVID-19. Among their other responsibilities, we have unfortunately suffered a loss of 8 CDW officials, which had a negative impact on our activities. We will ensure that we fill this critical position of CDW. Performance accountability of municipalities. We will actively promote a culture of performance management, enhance accountability in all 54 municipalities. We will continue to conduct a performance assessment to generate evidence of the efficiency of municipalities' performance in relation to key focus areas of governance, financial health, and access to basic service delivery. The performance of assessment will commence in July 2021. Municipal improvement plan will be developed and address any identified performance weaknesses. Specific support measures for Umsunduzi. Considering the deep-seated challenges at Umsunduzi and the response to an inquiry I received via Facebook from a resident of Umsunduzi, Mr. Sakiso Stole, we will, in 2021-22, intensify our monitoring of the municipality's recovery plan as part of the ongoing constitutional intervention. We will specifically attend the following waste management portfolio, recurring electricity challenges, and strengthening the management capacity within the municipality. Capacity building for municipal recovery in the effect of COVID-19 and municipal economies have been devastated, with the municipalities being the primary location for economic activity at the local level. It is a key that they are adequately equipped to assist in the revival of the post-COVID-19 economy. To bolster the municipality recovery plan we helped to develop in 2021, we will launch a dedicated municipal LED capacity building program in all municipalities in 2021-22. Protest-free 2021 local government election with community protest intensify across the province as the date of the 2021 local government election, which has been announced by His Excellency the President Ramaphosa on the 27th of October 2021. Approaches of our goal is to help to ensure free and fair free and fair elections by minimizing community protests linked to these elections. In preparation for the upcoming 2021 local government election, our existing municipality response team in all 54 municipalities will receive support to deal with proactively with immediate public protest-free and post-election. On skills for new councillors following the 2021 local government election, the new councillors will be required to participate in the skills audit to determine their qualification and skills gap. The findings of this skills audit will then inform our training intervention in the municipality. Support for municipal oversight structures. If we were to build a professional local government institution, we need to identify the necessary skills among the newly elected councillors early on and provide a necessary support in this regard. Our focus will on the capacitation of municipal internal audit unit and the municipal public account committee. To make this work, we appeal to political parties to nominate capable candidates for councillors and upcoming local government election, especially those that will serve in the MPEC. So we want to appeal that political parties, they must deploy people who have capacity to assist us to professionalize a local government. Implementation of findings of skills audit and capacitating of municipal officials. Our skills audit have revealed a number of gaps. In 2020, 2021, 2022, we will sharing an outcome of the skills audit with municipalities address the gaps identified. Going forward, municipalities must prioritize the gap and identify the skills audit in their workplace skills plan. Municipalities are also strongly encouraged to participate in the free online program offered by the National Schools of Government. Improve revenue collection municipalities. Mr. Chairperson, service delivery is highly dependent on the ability of municipality to collect revenue. COVID-19 pandemic has severely disrupted the pace in our offensive to enhance revenue collection in municipalities. In 2021-2022, we'll therefore pursue the multi-pronged targeted approach to revenue collection in municipalities that aim to reduce both government and consumers' debt while enhancing revenue collection. Improve audit outcome in municipalities. 54 audit outcome release show 2 municipalities receive unqualified audit opinion with no matters, which is called clean audit. 32 municipalities received unqualified audit opinion with matters of emphasis, and 15 municipalities received qualified audit opinion, and 4 municipalities received disclaimed audit opinion, and 1 municipality received adverse audit outcome. This has been an audit outcome improvement at 8 municipalities. Going forward, we will build on the success of the deployment of financial experts to targeted municipalities, and we will focus on intensifying this support in 2021-2022. We will specifically focus on the monitoring and supporting municipalities to improve their financial government through implementation of audit action plans and functionality and effective of municipal internal audit unit and audit committees and MPECs. The effort to eliminate irregular expenditure we are committing to focus on supporting municipalities to deal with unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. This will involve in reviewing the current municipal processes to strengthen internal control to prevent such expenditure. This will also involve provision of support to SCM municipality officials irrespective of the UIFW expenditure already occurred. Intensive support will be provided to Finance Committee, MPEC, and Council to deal with such expenditure. We will also support municipalities with implementing the necessary consequence management. Program 3 on making the district development model work. As part of the commitment to institutionalize the DDDM, we will promote the closer cooperation between our IGR DDM unit. While we are reviving the organizational structure of the department, we will ensure suitable deployment of senior managers to the DDM hubs and clusters. This year, the focus will be completing the consolidated the plan of tabling the DDM Intergovernmental Forum by the end of May 2021. This plan will be composed of the intergovernmental program project budget aimed at growing the economy, improvement in service delivery and national stability. This will indeed a game changer. We committed to previous years, we will able to demonstrate what each department is bringing to the table to give effect to the each municipal IDP. Implementation of KZN Provincial Water Master Plan 2021 we will begin the implementation of water intervention and envisaged in KZN Provincial Water Master Plan. An allocation of 33 million will go towards accelerating province-wide water intervention aimed at improving general access to water for both communities and businesses. In 2021-22, we will support a total of 13 municipalities in increasing their level of water services in line with the ward profile produced in the Provincial Water Master Plan. In order to boost the available water resources, we will also monitor and refer to all the government stations in the province. Financing of the Provincial Water Master Plan and maintenance of infrastructure. Mr. Chairperson, in 2021-22, we have secured a commitment of 1.3 billion under MIC and 887 million under WSIG, 300 million under RBIG, and 653 million under Umgeni Water for the implementation of the KZN Provincial Water Master Plan. Our aim is to redirect a component of existing available funding to prioritize water projects and reinstatement of dysfunctional infrastructure and maintenance. At the same time, we are paying equal attention to municipality revenue enhancement, strictly credit control, compliance with National Treasury norms for municipal budgetary allocation for maintenance and infrastructure. To this end, we are proposing the following: that the amendment of the MEC allocation formula in favor of water, sanitation and access road, solid waste disposal, cemetery, understanding this implies of the reduction in allocation of certain other services, suspending practice of stopping MIC funds due to municipal underperformance in favor of redirecting such funds to another state institution to avoid penalizing the beneficiary communities. Giving priority to dysfunctional infrastructure in areas where no water supply service exists. Provision for repairs and maintenance. The extent of neglect of municipal infrastructure has resulted in a serious breakdown of water, electricity, and road infrastructure. To arrest this development, we must insist that municipality must spend 8% of their annual budget as per the national guidelines for operation and maintenance. We will monitor the compliance in this regard because, Chair, we must try to monitor and enforce the municipality to budget for this 8% for their maintenance and repairs. We also propose a ring fencing grant funding for operation and maintenance in cooperation with the National Department of Cogta and Water and Sanitation and national and provincial treasuries. KZN Provincial Energy Master Plan. Having successfully completed the KZN Provincial Water Master Plan, we will in 2021-2022 facilitate the development of KZN Provincial Energy Master Plan. It will focus on the universal access to electricity and alternative energy and asset management framework. Specifically, the plan will address the ongoing needs, support municipalities with operation and maintenance to deliberated energy infrastructure. We have learned valuable lessons during our work on the Water Master Plan, and we intend to apply the best practice in the respect of Energy Master Plan. Funding for infrastructure project in 2021 we will allocate 54 1,883,000, and the technical support towards electricity and massification and Makolo Sichozini towards small town reparation project will benefit include Mkambatini, Ringonyeni, Pongolo municipalities. Establishment of the PMU to assist municipalities in full spend infrastructure grant. We must admit that the province is not doing well in terms of the overall expenditure on grant due to the stubborn impediment such as the lack of skills, capacity, SCM challenges, and the absence of monitoring. We are also under constant threat by the National Treasury to grant a stoppage and withdrawal of funding. As part of the turnaround strategy, will establish a dedicated PMU that will work closely with municipalities and
MEC, you have exhausted your 45 minutes.
can I begin?
I would be generous enough to allow you to steal from your responding minutes. So continue until you finish. We will then deduct whatever is left of your reply.
Thank you, Chair. I will take from my response time. Okay. On the job creation target, 2021 we will continue to maintain the current 45,000 CWPs, and we will commence with the process of recruiting 500 municipal interns at the end of the current term interns. And in addition, we will recruit 65 interns and provide monitoring support to the 250 in-service training recently recruited. We therefore encourage Ms. Samgeli Siwe Eskosana from the Umgungundlovu, who inquired about our internship program via Facebook, to apply. Furthermore, through the implementation of our infrastructure project, we will also create 150 EPWP work opportunities. In doing so, we will ensure that 100% expenditure of 1.9 million EPWP condition grant from the National Department of Public Works. Mr. Chairperson, in addition to this commitment, we will also continue to empower youth through provision of departmental bursaries. During our public outreach program, we have been able to interact with many young people who are looking for opportunities to improve their prospects through education. One beneficiary of the departmental bursary is to be Ms. Nontobeko Ngobese, age of 23, who reached out to us during the recent public engagement, who's expressed interest in pursuing the career of mechanical engineering. We will be contacting her with the offer in these coming days. Program 4 towards rural local economic development. In line with the post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan, the RASET program will also support 2 rural local economic development projects at Ugu esizweni sakwaXolo and Ilembe esizweni sakwaGumede. Will be enhancing the existing agriculture project to increase supplies in institutional market and private sector. The amount of 6.5 million for each project has been committed in 2021-22. These projects are already in sustainable market for their produce. Claims and disputes are among the issues that threatening the stability of the traditional communities. Succession disputes have often occurred where faction within the family undermine the traditional eligibility criteria for person aspect to take over the chieftain, and after the passing of the recognizing cause, realizing that there are delays in implementing development programs due to Ubukosi family dispute and group fights. Traditional community, we have adopted a dispute resolution and conflict management framework which identified the need to establish a departmental multi-sector dispute resolution task team. Traditional council turnaround strategy. Following the assessment of traditional council for overall functionality in 2019-2020, we will in 2021-22 be implementing the turnaround strategies designed to bring individual traditional council to full functionality. Chairperson, a budget per program is allocated as follows. For program 1, administration, we are allocating 420,952. The allocation of this program 1 will focus newly on restructured and more efficient administration that complies with all prescribed and cost containment measures that procure all its goods and services in line with the revised SCM regulation. For program 2, local government, we allocate 345,323, and this program will utilize to support and stabilize the sphere of local government based on our assessment of the state of governance, finance, and service delivery at the heart of the 6th administration. The program 3, which is development planning, we allocate 428,827, and this budget will focus on program will be on the local economic development that strives for the viability and sustainability of local government through the development of local economies and job creation, infrastructure delivery, and particularly water and spatial development. Program 4 is 586,449,000,000. This program is strategic initiative which include wide-ranging support in the institution of traditional leadership will be implemented through the following sub-program. So laba bathi amakhosi asiwasizi bayabona imali emakhosini. The total budget chairperson for the department is 1,781,551. In conclusion, Mr. Chairperson, this figure shows that we have clearly mandate which are now going to implement without fear or favor. The budget we are presenting here today has two objectives: to ensure that our local government works better for our people in the post-COVID-19 era, which is also slowly entering, and the most immediate, to pave the way to a free and fair election for 2021 local government election. The movement that assigned me to this task, African National Congress, the ANC, Mkhaya, will expect solid results, which I'm determined to deliver. We can always count on the support of this august House, irrespective of the different political position of the various parties. Our heartfelt gratitude therefore goes to the institution, and especially to portfolio committee Cogta, led by Honorable Chairperson Honorable Cele, for the wise counsel and the robust oversight. Because when we always have meeting with portfolio committee, we are very grateful that the committee, they robust engage us, and we don't take it personal because we know we are working and we need to account to the legislature through the portfolio committee. We really appreciate that. At home, at Cogta, my gratitude goes to the head of department, Mr. Tubane, and the entire team of capable managers and officials who worked tirelessly through the hard lockdown 2020 and continue to do so during these challenging times. We have officials who are working tirelessly to ensure that we fast-track the service delivery in our province and also support the municipalities and the traditional institution. The very special thanks to also go to my late father, Uhlomuka Ungiti Ubophela, for the support that they have provided to me, and believe that is still supporting that. Whom will be buried recently, may his soul rest in peace, and my mother and the rest of my family, especially my wife and the kids and all other unending love and support. Madam Speaker, these are the words of thanks. I hereby table the budget vote level of cooperative government traditional affairs for 2021-2022 financial year. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC Hlomuga. I got worried. I thought you were going to say my wife and my girlfriend. And so, so, no, you conducted yourself well. You only have a wife that we know. Honorable MEC, I will tell you, not that unending love. I will tell you when you respond, how much time did you take, because I know you did not time yourself. Thank you, honorable members. We will now go to the debate in relation to vote 11. We will now accept the report by the chairperson of the committee, Honorable Zetel Aitele, with 10 minutes. Honorable Chairperson.
Ngakudlelani mlojo. Honorable Premier, greetings. Honorable MECs, Honorable Chairperson of the session, Honorable members, Inkosi Uchiliza, Amakhosi aseNdlunkulu, the people of KwaZulu-Natal, ngicela ukubingelela. I take this opportunity to table a summary of the committee's deliberations of the 2021-22 budget. The debate of cooperative governance and traditional affairs represented the 2021-22 budget and the annual performance plan at several meetings of Cogta Portfolio Committee. The first draft was presented at the meeting held on the 6th November 2020. At this meeting, the committee made several inputs, especially on the APP, and these were considered by the department and therefore affected to the final APP and budget. As required by the sector oversight model, the committee held an interactive session at Uthugela District Municipality on the 8th of December 2020, a session which was attended by the stakeholders and the public at large. At this meeting, the stakeholders were given an opportunity to table their contributions on the draft APP and budget for 2021-22 to the committee. The meeting to consider the final budget and APP proposal by the department was held on the 29th of April 2021. This meeting was convened shortly after the finance budget hearing held on the 25th of April 2021. At both these engagements, the committee had an opportunity to cross-examine the budget and the APP of the department. Through deliberations and engagements with the department, the committee noted that 2021-22 draft APP was compiled taking into cognizance all relevant laws, policies, and strategies which govern local government, and the APP of the department is aligned to the national and provisional priorities. The National Development Plan, Provincial Growth and Development Plan, MTSF 2019 to 2024, SOPA, SONA for 2021. These plans relates to improving local government performance and ensuring quality service delivery by municipalities. The department also provided a detailed section of this alignment in the APP, which was presented to the committee. We also note that the APP was developed in line with the approved DPME's framework for strategic plans and APPs to promote and institutionalize reporting, monitoring and assessment of the public service to improve service delivery. Honorable Chair, one wishes to report that the Portfolio Committee was very pleased by the department's reported its key interventions contained in the 2021-22 APP, responding to priorities and 2020-25 strategic plans by costing them in details. The committee commends the Department for transparency displayed in its budget process. The critical ones that were noted are worth mentioning on this house are as followed. 33,450,000 budgeted to support municipalities with increasing yard water connection. 30 million allocated to support municipalities with the implementation of electrification programs. 19 million budgeted for the rehabilitation of Imizi Yezizwe programs. The committee will monitor with keen interest the implementation of these programs, amongst others. On the budget 2021-22, the Portfolio Committee notes that the department is allocated 1,700,000,081 in the 2021-22 financial year to deliver on its mandate. In 2020-21 financial year, the Department of Cogta revised adjusted budget was 1.5 billion from the main appropriation of 2020-21 of 1.879 billion. Final allocation of the 1.781 billion was reported per program as follows. Program 1, to receive 420,952,000 to provide for the improvement of the department's information and communication technology systems and the maintenance of an upgrade of various departmental buildings. Program 2 allocated 345,323,000 to cater for the training of municipal councillors and community outreach programs, amongst others. The committee applauded the department for the amount allocated for the training of municipal councillors, hoping that it will benefit this, especially since there will be new councillors as we are approaching the local government elections. Program 3 allocated 428,827,000 for various projects such as disaster management, nodal plans, implementation of spatial equity norms and standards, and SDF support, geospatial land register, and development application management system programs, among others. Program 4 allocated 586,449,000 to cater for the recognition and installation of Amakosi, capacity building programs and Amakosi, and the remuneration of Izinduna, amongst others. The committee is not satisfied with this amount allocated for the program. The amount is far low, taking into account that the department should remunerate Izinduna. The department indicated to the Portfolio Committee that the number of posts reported to be 147 posts to be filled according to the 2020-21 estimates of revenue and expenditure book will be reviewed to identify savings through the abolishment of unneeded posts within the organizational structure of the department. The Portfolio Committee has committed itself to, it will play a robust oversight over the issues of filling the critical vacant posts by the department. Noting all the priorities presented by the Department of Cogta, the Portfolio Committee is dedicated in fulfilling its constitutional and legislative mandate through the application of the sector oversight model, where it will monitor with keen interest through robust oversight the department activities, both from financial perspective and actual performance. Moreover, the department indicated that there will be budget cuts through budget cuts that arose because of fiscal consolidation and wage freeze. However, we are pleased to report that the department assured the committee that despite these cuts, the department will achieve all its service delivery targets. The committee wishes to highlight the following areas of concern and areas for noting for special interest that rose during the budget hearings. The significant decline of the EPWP grant allocated over the last 4 financial years from 4,552 in 2018-19 to 3,858 in 2019-20 to 2,777 in 2020-21 to 1,994 in 2021-22. The committee urged the department to ensure that EPWP grant is utilized fully and reporting on time and adequately to the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. This is to enable the Department of Cogta to increase its grant allocation that it receives from the National Department, as this grant is a primary vehicle for poverty eradication in our communities. Committee raised concern over many municipalities that are not putting aside 8% of their budget for infrastructure maintenance. The department was urged to monitor this very closely. We are happy to see that in the budget statement, the MEC has picked this one up and the department will be keeping a close look on this one. The Department of Cogta has indicated that it has put aside 3 million for assisting in local government elections, which has been budgeted for under Program 2, Local Governance. After the committee has satisfied itself with the budget presented, parties then voted as follows. The ANC supported the 2021-22 budget as tabled. The IFP supported the budget with reservations on the issues of stipend received by traditional secretaries, council secretaries. The DA and minority parties were not present in the meeting. In conclusion, may I take this opportunity to congratulate the Department of Cogta for achieving a clean audit for 2019-20 audit outcomes. I wish to thank the MEC of Cogta, Mr. Sipho Muga, the HOD, Tando Tubane and his team from these great results. A special thanks to the members of the Portfolio Committee for their continued dedication to their oversight role, and lastly, thank the legislature support staff for their administrative support. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. But we've just heard that you were not in a meeting. The first member to debate on the budget presented and the report would be a speaker from the African National Congress, Honorable M. Kavenda. You have 10 minutes. I hand over to you, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Let me commence by expressing our solidarity with the people of Palestine who are experiencing a systematic extermination quite like that perpetrated by Hitler against the Jews. The killings of over 230 Palestinians, including more than 60 children and 3 pregnant women over the past 11 days by Israel is totally unacceptable. We call on all of us to do what we can to demonstrate our support for and solidarity with the innocent victims of the attacks by Zionists. And having experienced the scourge of apartheid, as South Africans, we cannot let it happen in Palestine. We therefore welcome the announcement of a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and the statement by our Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, which calls which states South Africa's support for the International Criminal Court to investigate the abuse of human rights by the Israeli government. Honorable Chairperson, there have been severe budget cuts effected against all government departments at all levels, and Cogta has not escaped this and has had to make several adjustments to its 2021-22 budget, as well as over the MTEF. The department was allocated 1.781 billion in the 21-22 financial year to deliver on its mandate. In terms of the impact of COVID on this budget, I suppose we could call it swings and roundabouts. On one hand, there have been savings in travel, accommodation, car hire, meeting venues, etc. But the department has had to invest in technology and the future, the new normal as it is being termed. And COVID has also given it the opportunity to reorganize, reprioritize, and to do things differently whilst maximizing efficiency. However, this has all come at a cost. Funds have had to be diverted to the procurement of PPE. Numerous projects have had to be put on hold or even cancelled. Critical appointments have not been made, with delays often being attributed to logistical difficulties in this COVID period. So it has called for thinking outside of the box for innovation. And we are glad to see that Cogta and its leadership under the MEC have stepped up to the plate. And this is evidenced by the local government post-lockdown recovery plan. Following the enforcement of the lockdown regulations, Cogta was mandated to lead and coordinate all water interventions to ensure potable water supply for domestic use, as well as assist other government departments. And the department was expected to achieve this because of its function of capacitating and supporting local government institutions. It has also been responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of public infrastructure, and the department has had to face the obligation of accelerating the repair and refurbishment of existing water and sanitation infrastructure, or providing new and improved infrastructure and resources where necessary. It has already achieved much, Honourable Speaker, and has facilitated the sanitizing of municipal public spaces, public transport facilities, the purchase and distribution of scanners, hand washing facilities, and all of those issues associated with PPE. And the ANC wants to commend this department on the good work that it has done and is being doing. Let me now focus on Program 2, Local Governance. This program is designed to coordinate, support, promote, and enhance governance. And it's a very important program. It also encourages administration, good administration, as well as public participation in local government. There is a fluctuating trend over the MTF due to budget cuts. The bulk of the reduction is against compensation of employees in terms of the provision made for the cost of living adjustment. And whilst it doesn't really impact on the filling of vacant posts under this program, the increase in this financial year caters mainly for filling 38 vacant posts for projects such as training municipal councillors, community outreach programs, forensic investigations, appointment of municipal administrators. Unfortunately, these will have to be scaled down, as has been stated by the MEC. One of the areas that has been identified by the department for a budget cut was transfers to municipalities, and funds are now going to be directed towards the drilling of boreholes, which are essential. The MTF allocations also provide for the construction of CSCs and Imizi Yasizwe, the continuation of priority water service delivery interventions in line with the master plan that the MEC spoke of, completion of the drilling and equipping of the boreholes project, completion of electricity projects under the massification program and the small town rehabilitation program, among others. Now, many of these programs commenced in 1920, and we must commend the department on the fact that 158 boreholes have been fitted with hand pumps, 93 production boreholes fitted with electrically driven pumps. These will be estimated to be completed by May 2021, which is this month. Hopefully that is on track. The cuts against goods and services does have an impact on the training of municipal councillors, and whilst we welcome the amount that has been allocated for the training of councillors and community outreach programs, we do note that the budget cuts mean that the department cannot do as much as it can. However, funds relating to municipal interventions had to be moved from goods and services to Vote 6 provincial treasury, but these were to some extent mitigated because additional funds were allocated in terms of the district champion of Operation Suguma Sake and the district development model municipal responsibilities. As we've said, funds have been budgeted to support municipalities with increasing yard water connections and the implementation of electrification programs and rehabilitation work in the Imizi Yesisizwe program. We must commend the department, Honourable Chairperson, for the sterling work that it is doing in supporting the institutions of traditional leadership. You know, very often we tend to underrate this. But here you've had the upgrading, rehabilitation of CSCs, you've had centers being equipped with Wi-Fi, etc., and this can only assist in supporting the work of these institutions. The department did undertake an extensive assessment of the state of local government in 2019, and as the ANC, we then support, as part of the measures arising from this, the appointment of suitably skilled, qualified finance and governance professionals to be deployed to municipalities to provide hands-on support. These will assist also in targeting improved revenue collection at municipalities, and we want to welcome the Masakani campaign. They'll also assist in the reduction of unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure by encouraging the enforcement of consequence management, and they will assist in coordinating and facilitating the resolution of service delivery issues, as well as improving audit opinions. Honourable Speaker, as part of the local government post-lockdown recovery plan, the revenue impact of COVID-19 on municipalities has been assessed. It is significant, particularly in the province's economic hubs, such as eThekwini, Msunduzi, and the city of Umhlanga. So the support for revenue collection and the Masakane campaign is something that we really do welcome. We also welcome the department's insistence on municipalities setting aside its
budget towards maintenance, because the impact on infrastructure is great, and there really are very, very little funds to build new infrastructure. Honourable Chairperson, we note the budget cut in terms of funds that were to be transferred to municipalities for ward-based plans. And at this point, we see the department has not allocated any transfers to municipalities. Honourable Chairperson, ward-based plans are really important because they assist in the service delivery and ensuring that services go where they are needed most. So we want to urge the department to find creative means to continue providing, supporting the implementation of ward operational plans in wards, and to continually review the allocation or non-allocation in the light of their budget. In conclusion, Honourable Chairperson, let me again, on behalf of the African National Congress, commend the Honourable NEC team for the good work that Cogta is doing, for leading by example. Cogta has obtained an excellent audit outcome, a clean audit. It is one of only 2 departments in the province, and we also want to commend the department for using their reduced budget to the best means to serve the people of this province. I want to conclude by saying that we must all remember we are still in the thick of the COVID pandemic. Let us all be responsible. Let's wear our masks, wash and sanitize our hands, maintain a safe social distance, and register to vaccinate when it is our turn. And then turn up for the vaccination so that we can protect each other. Honourable Chairperson, on behalf of the Portfolio Committee and the African National Congress, which I am representing here today, we want to say that we support this budget as tabled by the NEC for Cogta in the province. Thank you, Honourable Chairperson.
the Honorable Chairperson, honorable members of the legislature, Amakhosi of our province, the HOD and senior officials of the department, and senior officials of the legislature, and people of this beautiful province of KwaZulu-Natal. From the onset, I wish to quote what the founder of the IFP, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, said when he addressed the IFP councillors on June 12, 2012 in Pinetown. He said, I quote, "When you choose to represent a political party, you are not taking a job. It is not a 9-to-5 position with a salary that you can leave when a better offer comes along." He said it is a vocation that must become part of your identity. He continued to say, when you walk through your community, you are not getting from point A to point B. You are looking for opportunities to serve and uplift. When you speak to the people, it's not to catch up on the latest gossip, but to hear their needs and find ways to meet them. Being a leader means living intentionally, knowing that your words, action, behavior, and attitude are constantly being watched and evaluated, close quote. I thought, Honorable Chairperson, I should begin with these wise words from this great son of the soil in order to remind ourselves of the responsibilities we carry as elected people, and also to inform those who intend to stand for public office in October local government elections what they are getting themselves into. In the past year, we have seen a lot of demonstrations by the people of our province demanding service delivery. Some of the people of our province go to an extent of blocking roads in order to demonstrate their dissatisfaction about poor service delivery by their respective municipalities. When the people of our province resort to extreme measures to vent their frustration about the unsatisfactory manner some municipalities render the services, it requires that all concerned pause a moment to ask themselves whether they are true to the mandate they were elected into office for or not. At this point of time, Honorable Chairperson, I wish to quote the Ladysmith Herald newspaper of 11 May 2021, which carried a headline which read thus, "Thokozeni residents drink water alongside the animals." That article says, members of the community of Thokozeni are forced to drink water from a small stream filled with human waste and rubbish. We drink water alongside the cattle, goats, and dogs, said Thokozeni resident Sabelo Mabaso. Thokozeni is one of the neighboring townships in the Colenso area and is situated along the R74. Mabaso told the Ladysmith Herald that the community has no option but to use the water from the stream, commonly known as the Spruit. He said for the past 2 years, no water tankers has been sent to the community and the communal tap has been dry for over a year. He continued to say, we have not seen a water tanker in years, and because of the rainfall, we are using water from this dirty Spruit, said Mabaso. Close quote. Thokozeni Uthukela district is responsible for water supply in this area of our province. I also wish to continue, Honorable Chairperson, to read or quote a heading of a concerned reader of Ilanga newspaper who sent a letter to the editor which was published on 13 to 15 May titled, "Iyangikhathaza yokungaphephi nokungcola kwamadolobha aKwaZulu-Natal." These newspaper articles, Honorable Chairperson, indicate how desperate the situation is out there, which the people of KwaZulu-Natal have to face day in and day out. I do not condone the blocking of the roads, which in many cases inconveniences even the sick who cannot reach hospitals. Even those who had passed away cannot be transported to a mortuary or to their places of eternal rest. But I'm underscoring a point that services must be rendered by all spheres of government to the people of our country and our province because our people deserve better. The IFP commends the department for obtaining a clean audit with no findings as per the latest Auditor General's report. We are also pleased that the department reduced irregular expenditure. We urge the department to totally eliminate the irregular and fruitless expenditure when spending this year's budget of 1.78 billion rand. We know the budget cuts which are incurred by the department, that they will have a negative effect to the operations of the department, and it is bound to affect service delivery. We welcome the fact that the department spent its EPWP grant, conditional grant in 2019 and 2020, and we've also noted that the department redirected funds for an 18-month EPWP leadership and in-service training for 250 TVET college students so that they complete their qualifications while getting practical experience. We are concerned about the reduction of the EPW grant that has been happening over the years. We hope that the local governance budget allocation will be utilized properly to ensure good governance and sound financial management in more municipalities within our province. The IFP also noted that the department conducted investigations in fraud, corruption, and maladministrations in municipalities within our province. At this point in time, I wish to quote the NCOP chairperson, Mr. Amos Masondo, while addressing SALGA National Assembly as reported in the Daily News of 14 May 2021. He urged national and provincial governments to support, assist, and strengthen municipalities instead of seeking to usurp their powers amid concerns over a growing number of repeated intervention in troubled municipalities. He continued to say many municipalities, many of the issues that often triggered Section 39 interventions in councils would not exist if the three spheres of government worked with one another in mutual trust and good faith in accordance with the country's constitution. He also lamented that provincial interventions had been used to achieve political ends, and adding that there was also a worrying trend of a lack of uniformity in the application of Section 139 across provinces or within a province. He also said national and provincial governments should act in accordance with Section 141 of the Constitution, which directs these two spheres of government to support and strengthen the capacity of municipalities to manage their own affairs, exercise their powers, and perform their functions. I hope, Honorable MC Mkayawami, we should agree with the concerns expressed by Mr. Masondo and ensure that in this province of KwaZulu-Natal, what he talked about does not happen. We call upon the department to fill all the vacant posts, which I'm told are 180. It would be good if the department would prioritize filling the 147 critical posts, I'm told, during this financial year. We express a hope that qualified and competent individuals will be recruited to fill these vacancies. We call upon the department to expedite the process which the Honorable MEC has reported about on the commission study. It is pleasing to know that the Water Master Plan study has been completed. We hope that the workshop that was agreed upon by the Portfolio Committee but has not yet been held will be held in order to take this matter forward. We are concerned that many municipalities do not set aside from their budgets the 8% for the maintenance of infrastructure. And we are also happy that the Honorable MEC did allude to this matter. We urge the department to impress upon municipalities to set aside these funds in order to enable them to deal with the challenges of old infrastructure, which is failing to deliver services as expected. We also are calling for the department to ensure that there are functional disaster management centers. As we are approaching a winter season, there will be challenges of field fires and also in summer where there's challenges of floods. And we hope that when we have such centers which are ready to face the disaster that may occur, our people will be served better. I thank you and will come back, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gunane. Don't forget. Thank you. The next member from the NFP, Honorable V.R. Mlotshwa, for the whole 3 minutes.
Umdlwane phela wawudalelwa lokho. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members and guests. The NFP welcomes the budget for vote 11. However, we are extremely concerned about the province's municipality that are placed under administration, especially Msunduzi, Ngutu, Emadlangeni, Kanyakude, and eThekwini. Msunduzi is a failing municipality in a state of self-destruction implanted by maladministration, financial mismanagement, fraud and corruption in all respect of political interference. Only 30% of Msunduzi's street lights are working. There are potholes in almost every street in Maritzburg. The municipality is failing miserably and struggles to fund its asset and collect revenue. The municipality needs more than 5 billion to carry out capital electricity plans and 2.3 billion to tackle water-related problems. The municipality is paying a hefty amount of money per month for water tanks, engasebenzi, of which is a temporary solution to the issue. The department needs to fast-track the implementation of water master plan. The NFP calls for the department to conduct an investigation on the issue of saboteurs allegedly to have been smashing water pipes, closing valves, draining reservoirs, and setting alight stations. In the Ugu district, to leave hospital, clinics, schools, and homes without water for a week is miserable. It has been reported that municipal vehicles have been torched, electrical boxes destroyed, and water generators burned as well. Mr. Chairperson will request the feedback on the functionality of the established district development model, of which advances the idea of one budget, one plan for the district municipalities. The department commends undertaking the water, sanitation, and electricity backlog study, which focuses on existing backlogs, as well as assessing the state of existing infrastructure in the province. What is the plan for or framework to be implemented to mitigate on the findings? And is there a budget set aside to combat and fight on the findings? Mr. Chairperson, we are concerned about the issue of the traditional council. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mlotshwa. The next speaker from the virtual platform is Honorable Esther Kurashpansi from the Minority Front with 3 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable MEC, I would like to focus on the Metro eThekwini, as the MF believes that certain service delivery issues are transversal in other districts, and you have reported on these. In terms of the current water and sanitation infrastructure budget, an amount in excess of 21 billion is required as per the municipality. 1/3 of the city's revenue comes from residents. Honorable MEC, we need to know the percentage of non-payers in each district. In Msunduzi, many politicians, for example, are non-payers and have been named in the media. The proposed tariff hikes of 8.5% and 14.59% for water and electricity respectively will be met by more non-payment as residents are facing dire economic challenges given the COVID-19 impact. In Chatsworth, for example, residents are pleading with me as an MP that for a simple thing like bread that's bought on account from a local tuck shop, it costs almost 20 rand. Fuel that has gone up, and they cannot make ends meet to meet the high tariffs, yet they've dealt with major water and electricity outages. The MF is concerned with the aging infrastructure in Chatsworth, Phoenix, Verulam, Tongaat. The municipality stated that upgrades will only start in the next 2 to 7 years, and this is bad planning. The MF, of course, supports the department in taking control of the MIG grant. I really hope this happens. Another issue of slum clearance is an important program, but substandard housing that's costing between 100 to 200,000 per house is not acceptable. The human settlements funds, as the province gives eThekwini, must be monitored on both sides, as clearly we're not getting money for value, and we're going to be facing more protests. The other area causing distress is the erratic grass-cutting cycles in all municipalities. The EPWP is not well managed. The Parks and Gardens Directorate, they need to be monitored and put on terms like the enforcement of all other national budgets and performance guidelines, which the MF supports. A further problem is the clearing of bushes along roads that are controlled by the municipalities. For example, if you look at Phoenix and Tongaat, and really this needs to be attended to, Honourable MEC. We must embark on ways to save natural water, but this is counterproductive if we waste rainwater that can be harvested through proper drainage on the roads under municipal control. This cannot be accomplished by blocked drains with alien overgrowths or litter pollution or missing manhole lids. These need attention, Honourable MEC. Local government elections are around the corner and many residents are apathetic, where the service delivery will improve in many areas that I work in. However, the MF is confident and will support the 1.7 billion budget in the hope that you, Honourable MEC, are promising us that these planning issues will be corrected with stronger monitoring. Thank you very much.
Your time has expired. Thank you very much. The next speaker is Honorable MPP Zungu from the African National Congress for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chairperson. Ngibingelele amalungu ahloniphekile ecabinet akhona phakathi kwethu indlunkulu ngibingelele amalungu eshamthetho umphakathi wonke kwaZulu-Natal neSouth Africa yonkana. Before I begin my debate, allow me to appreciate the sterling work done by the MEC, Honorable Hlomuga, and his department to have obtained an unqualified audit for 2019 and 20 financial year. The ANC really made no mistake in deploying a capable leader that he is. Honorable Chair, these budgets lay a solid foundation to set us on a path towards building a resilient, safe, sustainable, prosperous, cohesive, connected, and climate-smart communities. We also subscribe to the truths as laid by our former ANC President, Comrade O.R. Tambo, who once said, I quote, "It is inconceivable for liberation to have meaning without a return of the wealth of the country to the people as a whole. To allow the existing economic forces to retain their interests intact is to feed the roots of racial supremacy and exploitation and does not represent even shadow of liberation." On local government elections, Chair, it is worth noting that a role played by the department in municipal election is supportive and appeals for voter registration and participation in this election is strictly apolitical, seeking to assist in high turnout in local government elections, which enhances the legitimacy of local government institutions. Working with Independent Electoral Commission, Cogta participated in municipal consultations in ward delimitations, which were concluded in November 2020. Following the conclusion of the ward delimitation process, new voting districts were determined and Section 12 notices will be amended accordingly. Despite the challenges presented by COVID-19, the Demarcation Board managed to hand over its work to the IEC. We are therefore confident that because of the experiences we have gained in various elections, that we are ready for elections to be held on the 27th of October as pronounced by the State President. The revised COVID-19 regulation also enabled the voter canvassing and voting. We will continue to monitor the situation and work closely with the IS and municipal elections. We also believe that elections offer all parties, kungabi sengazuthi into ye-ANC kuphela, but it offers all parties an opportunities to fix municipalities by deploying best people to the sphere of government, which most of our people need. Cogta also has compiled a consolidated KZN election support plan, which comprises of the 3 phases. That is, the first one, the pre-election phase, which entails establishment of structures that will support the local government election process, determination of number of councillors, preparations for elections of ward committees, provide infrastructure like water, electricity, and voting stations, and preparations for induction of councillors. The second one is the election phase, which is all about working closely with the IEC and political parties to manage the elections on the polling day. And lastly, the third being the post-election phase, that is specific focus on facilitation of the first council meetings, and inauguration of councils, induction of councillors, and election of ward committees. Key to these adaptations was the prioritization of budget, which meant that many programs that had been previously deemed crucial were deferred. We trust this, mindful of the fact that the service delivery still needed to continue, maybe at an even more accelerated pace than it was before, as a large section of our population was also navigating financial burdens brought by this devastating pandemic. On Program 1, Chair, when looking at the skills audit, we commend the work that was done by the department in heading to the call that was made by the Honorable Premier in his State of the Province address of 2019 and 2020 for skills audit on senior and middle management, which was compulsory for all officials in these categories. We appreciate the fact that it has been completed and it is to guide the department in its skill development needs. Commitment to the professional procurement targets. Our overall procurement budget in 2020 and 21 amounted to 311.08 million. In line with the 2017 preferential procurement regulation. Honorable Chair and the House, according to State SA, only 45% of our household can keep up with water payments. Unemployment is on the increase and it is reaching a record of high of 32.5%, as the poverty with 60% of our population living below the poverty line. This, together with negative effects of COVID, has resulted in residents being unable to keep up with the payments. Thus, the debt to and by municipalities are on the rise in 2020 and 21 financial year. Cogta has contributed to the provincial procurement objective by appointing a significant number of companies owned previously by disadvantaged groups, wherein amount of 197.6 million, which equates to 64%, has been awarded to the BEE level 1 status, and 185 million, which is equivalent to 59.5% to emerging micro enterprises and qualifying small enterprises. In advancing specific designated groups in our provincial procurement program, we also seen that the following fractions of our procurement expenditure has been covered. MSC uyibalulile eyabantu besifazana, ulusha, ama-veterans, nabahlala ey'ndaweni zasemakhaya, nalaba abahlala kuma-township. But also we did observe the fact that some of the categories are chiefly due to have low percentages due to non-responsiveness. And we appreciate the fact that the department has taken upon themselves to engage with all these groups to increase their responsiveness, to call for bids, and this is highly applauded. On target procurement, Chair, a very strategic move by the department is what we admire, as it earmarked 30% of our public procurement budget for awarding to SMMEs, cooperative, township, and rural-based enterprises, and people with disabilities. Cogta also has utilized a holistic and focused strategy to promote EPEE, thus empowering 60% of the people of the Africans, black in particular. Chair, on coming on to cleaning the departmental books, in 2021, we also observed a great move by the Department of Cogta, ensuring that the previous irregular expenditure was reduced almost by 50%, as it was cut from 606.827 million to 303.222 million. We are confident that in 2021 and 2022, the remaining irregular expenditure will be done away with, which leads to the clean departmental books. Chair, on mass job creation, we also appreciate and applaud the work that is done by the department in ensuring that 46,316 jobs have been created, where including 250 in-service trainees, 45,250 CWP workers, 512 interns, 222 job opportunities through EPWP infrastructure project, 36 infrastructure young professionals, 15 assistants to financial experts deployed to municipalities, 65 departmental interns. Of this, more than 12,000 are youth and 38,000 females, and more than 400 are people with disabilities, which is a direct response to reducing unemployment amongst graduates, assisting unemployed graduates in obtaining work experience, and building the capacity of municipality in the province and keeping up with our constitutional mandate. The ANC unashamedly support the budget of 1.7 billion, and siyazi-ke sonke bakithi iZulu siyasho sithi akukho sokaladla kahle imbangi ibalisi. Kuyohlale njalo kunemsindo uma ngabe kukhona okwenzakalayo. Take into account ukuthi the period that we are in isikhathi esenza ngasebenzeki because we have encountered so much budget cuts, but with the minimal resources, the department is trying all it could to ensure that the services are brought to our people. Sibonga kakhulu umphakathi waseKwaZulu-Natal nase South Africa yonkana ngama result nokuvotela inhlangano enephupho nenomlando omuhle ukuphatha abantu iANC. Naye ngokhetho zayo ngoJune silindele futhi siyathemba ukuthi niyophinda futhi niyethembe lenhlangano enakekelayo. Inhlangano ke enamadlozi angempela, hayi amadlozi aphilayo. Ngiyabonga hlanga.
Thank you very much, Honorable Zungu. The next speaker from the DA, Honorable CJ Papas. You have 8 minutes.
Mr. Chairperson, honorable members, thank you very much for this opportunity and greetings to you all. Please allow me to take this opportunity to extend my condolences to the isiZulu royal family and to also wish His Majesty Mrs. Zulukazi Zwelithini all the best. Long may he reign. May I thank the Portfolio Committee and the work done by Honorable Cele. Thank you very much for your robust leadership in your absence, and condolences to your family. In an insignificant area along the US-Mexico border lies a small town of Nogales. The town is divided in half by the border wall between the two countries. On the one side of the wall, the population has a high life expectancy, a high quality of education, better access to healthcare, and there's lower unemployment. Their rights are protected through a functioning justice system, and the right to own property is enshrined in a relatively progressive constitution. On this side of the wall, people vote for their leaders and have faith that the state institutions will protect them from corruption and abuse, and that their leaders must be held accountable through frequent and fair elections. On the other side of the wall, the population faces high unemployment, poor healthcare, overcrowded and underfunded schools, and live in constant fear of gangs and drug lords who rule the streets. The police and the courts are inefficient, and the real rights of the people have been eroded, leaving justice and protection from prosecution only for the rich. On this side of the wall, although elections occur, the population has no recourse against corruption and abusive leaders, as the institutions of the state have been eroded and no longer work to protect the powerless. The interesting part about this town is that there is very little difference in history. There is no difference in demographics, and there are no difference in natural resources. In fact, at one stage, this town was part of the same country. The real difference is the institutions and policies that govern these places. On one side, you have a government and social institutions that encourage entrepreneurship, economic success, and private ownership, where institutions function and support the development of human advancement. On the other side, you have the opposite, institutions that do not support or incentivize success. But what is the purpose of this story, Honorable MEC? In South Africa, we have two provinces governed by the same laws, under the same national government, and with the same macro, socio, and economic challenges. Two provinces that must oversee, guide, and intervene in the functionality of local government, where local government is tasked with the delivery of the most basic services, where individual South Africans see the real benefits of the freedom and our acclaimed constitution being put into action. The delivery of water, electricity, working roads, a clean environment, and importantly, a place where individuals and communities can dream up businesses and make them a reality. However, Chairperson, in these two provinces, we find as stark a reality as the people of Nogales. In one province, we see high levels of investment, and I'm talking about real investment, not what the Premier means when businesses move around the province. We see the highest life expectancy in the country, the best education system. We see municipalities that achieve good financial outcomes. We see accountability of public officials and even politicians. And we see local government that provides good quality basic services. Of course, it's not without its challenges, but there's progress, accountability, and constant building of state capacity. This province is the Western Cape, and it's governed by the Democratic Alliance. In the other province, we see high unemployment, poor education, high levels of corruption that go unpunished. In fact, the leaders of this province go to court cases to support the corrupt. We see municipalities that cannot do the basics, such as pick up litter or read meters. We see worsening financial situations in local government, and we see continued and rapid decline of towns and villages as services do not reach the people. There are challenges, like everywhere else. However, there's also an inability to hold people accountable, to show progress beyond creating state dependency, and to build a capable state. This province is KwaZulu-Natal, and it is governed by the African National Congress. So what is the real difference between these two places? Well, here it is simply put. While the DA-run Western Cape aims to empower individuals and communities through education and the provision of basic services that enables each person to fulfill their potential, the ANC-run KwaZulu-Natal aims to destroy institutions and create dependency on the state. While the DA holds people accountable, the ANC redeploys them, as we've seen with Mam Gumede in our portfolio committee. While the DA builds capacity, the ANC brings in Cuban engineers. While the DA-run municipalities show improvement, ANC-run municipalities continue to decline. This destructive phenomenon has been reinforced over and over again, and it has been led from the top. Allow me to quote from former MEC Nomusa Dube-Ncube during her 2017 budget speech. His Excellency President Jacob Zuma directed the spheres of local government must lead radical economic transformation and development. He unpacked RET as a policy that has meant the fundamental change in the structure, systems, institutions, and patterns of ownership, management, and control of the economy in favor of all South Africans, especially the poor, and the majority of whom are African and female. President Zuma also emphasized that we need to see radical economic transformation in local government. She went on to say, when the commander speaks, our task as their generals is to deliver and to win not only the battle, but the war. This philosophy that underlines this budget vote is that our developmental focus is on building vibrant local economies to serve as a springboard for RET, a decent quality of life for all with reduced poverty, and decent employment opportunities. We are determined to ensure that our radical transformation agenda does not become a mere catchphrase. Close quote. Chairperson, year after year, we hear MECs and premiers give us speeches filled with Operation this and Project that, and how they're going to turn around local government and ensure that basic services are delivered. We have heard elaborate schemes and taglines, the latest of which is radical economic transformation. We have heard about game changers and catalytic projects. We have heard excuses from the global economic downturn to COVID-19 being used to cover up corruption, maladministration, failed policies, and cadre deployment. We have even had MECs and premiers try to deliver speeches that paint a rosy picture of a province that does not exist. Unfortunately, Chairperson, what we have not heard is the truth. Instead, contrary to what Nomusa Dube-Ncube said in 2017, we see more unemployment, more poverty, and less capacity in local government. Indeed, the true implementation of RET is manifesting in our local government. Here's the truth, plain and simple, for all of us to see. The 2021-2022 Cogta budget speech points to a government that does not know how deep the severe decline is in local government, how to deal with Jacob Zuma's legacy of an unfunded mandate, how to protect its people against disasters, and how to go around turning policy failures and incapacity. In addition, the budget cuts to programs and local government transfers indicate that a government is out of touch with the priorities of people and the scale of poverty and decline on the ground. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Papas. I now wish to invite Honorable M.E. Pagati from the ATM. I'm being advised that our technical support have not recognized them. Nevertheless, I want to call on them once more. Honorable Pagati. Seemingly, Honorable Pagati is not available. I will then pass to Honorable S.E. Magnele from the ACDP. Seemingly, he too has not been seen within the virtual platform. I will then pass to call upon Honorable S.M. Sonjeka from the ANC for 10 minutes.
Honorable Chairperson of the House, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, members of the Executive present, Undabezitha Nkosi Chiliza, Amakhosi asendlunkulu, honorable members of this respected House, people of our beautiful province of KwaZulu-Natal, Sanibonani. The people have spoken, said our former President Thabo Mbeki. Indeed, this is relevant today after South Africans again demonstrated their trust to their liberation movement, the African National Congress, this past Wednesday during the local government, local ward by-elections. I will not be tempted to respond because I think Honorable MEC is very capable to respond to some of the assertions made by those who continue to do experiments with our black brothers and sisters. It is not very few hours ago, another experiment went wrong. We live in a South Africa where there is a party that completely is a racist party. And they tell us they think Western Cape is a Cape Town of the rich, so those black people who are poor must be ignored. It is well known that the revised national framework of local economic development identifies the creation of inclusive economies as one of its key pillars, with a view to integrate informal economy into economic landscape. Informal economy plays a critical role in the economic development and assists in order to respond to the problem of high unemployment and poverty that persist in certain areas. The announcement of level 5 of the country's lockdown in April 2020 due to the COVID-19 has been a roller coaster experience for most informal economy, and since then, there's been an increase of unemployment due to shutdowns and closure of main businesses. This has meant that a number of people have been forced to try and get involved in the informal business, causing influx of entrants in this sector, thus requiring much more support from the municipalities. Cogta developed the social distancing secular prescripts as one measure of ensuring that informal business at the very least meet the health standards protocols. The department infrastructure support, for example, there is a project in Dumbe market stalls that accommodated 52 traders and they continue to be assisted in this initiative. The department must pay special attention to the local economic development and capacity of the municipalities in implementation projects in this regard. We welcome the fact that Cogta made considerable effort to facilitate the development and implementation of economic recovery plans in each district. Districts were guided with a broad overview of the local government in responding to COVID-19 pandemic, were further provided with framework of plans to support the recovery of local government. We will want the department to continue with the monitoring of the implementation of the district economic recovery plans. Cogta is one of the few provincial departments, if not the only department, honorable MECs, I wasn't paid to say this, if not the only provincial department implementing a comprehensive municipal internship program and in-service training. While these programs are not new, both of them, chiefly speaking, the programs appreciate the fact that skills development and worsening state of unemployment, more especially amongst youth, are identified as a national imperative in the National Development Plan, NDP 2030. The implementation plans entails the department recruiting the students in partnership with the municipalities and deployment respectively to localities. The knowledge and innovation that critical importance to national wealth and welfare. In this respect, skills development and innovation employment creation have potential to hold greater significance in the broader national strategy to accelerate human capital and development. House Chair, I just want to deal with practical things that the department is doing so that we don't respond to any other thing. We know that this department, through their infrastructure program 3, they are managing and supporting infrastructure grants. They are managing infrastructure grants as a key function of Cogta in support of basic service delivery in the 54 municipalities. Through MIC grant of 3.195 billion for 2020-21 financial year, KZN has made great strides to address backlogs in service delivery. Infrastructure grants to municipalities, the Cogta monitors the performance of the infrastructure grants. Indeed, government has made considerable efforts to address service delivery through these grants dispersed annually to our province. Under the municipal infrastructure grant, the department has successfully supported 6 municipalities to achieve 100% spending in the MIC grants, namely Umhlabuyalingana, KwaMaphumulo, Danhaza, Mpofana, Umgeni, and Zululand. There are currently 5 municipalities with between 95 to 99% expenditure, namely Abaqulusi, Mthonjaneni, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Umzinyathi, and Umzwabantu. These municipalities would be supported and encouraged to spend their remaining funds to achieve 100% by June. This is what is happening on the ground. We also want to, we are pleased as well that the KZN has, Cogta department has commenced with the process to prepare an electricity master plan using the lessons learned from the water master plan. The objective of the master plans are, but not limited to, present status of the universal access to the state of electricity infrastructure, operation and maintenance needs prioritized interventions program and cost estimates for our province. Provide high-level network capacity assessment as per approved network development plans and transmission development plan in KwaZulu-Natal and the provision of capital plans. We're looking forward, Honorable MEC, your department in concluding this master plan, because I think it will go a long way in assisting to electrify for our province. We know that our province has achieved 90% household of electrification by the year 2020, mainly through the Department of Mineral, the program of municipal and ESCOM between year 2021 and 2017. Cogta has supplemented the ESCOM and Department of Minerals and Energy program with a total of 319,561 million rand, and has connected and energized a total of 13,398 households in different municipalities through its massification program. These are people who never in their lives have had to press a button and see an electricity. During 2018 and 2019, Cogta has invested a further 41,375 million to supplement the program, of which 905 household connections have been experienced. Slalo siyabonga ichaba lixesha.
Impela, the enemy of this house is time. The next speaker from the EFF, it's Honorable M.W. Twala for 9 minutes. Honorable Twala from the EFF for 9 minutes. Okay, we will then come back to the EFF if there is no even alternative member who will stand in for him. We will then proceed to the Democratic Alliance for 4 minutes. Honorable Papa CJ.
Awungenzeni manje ho? Angaqala nokhuluma senyanga.
Order.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you again, honourable members. Honourable Sonjik, I just have one question for you. Which suspended do you support? President RAT or President White Monopoly Capital? Chairperson, as an opposition party, it's not only us to come here and tell you what's wrong, but also to congratulate you for what you've done right. So to you and Mr. Tubane, thank you very much and congratulations for the clean audit that your department received. Thank you for finalizing the program for the Water Master Plan. Congratulations and well done on your work done with reducing ESCOM debts. The interns that you continue to employ is a good program, so well done and thank you for that. And thank you very much for the local government toolkit that you've provided, and hopefully it will roll out and assist us in local government. I would also like to remind the Honourable Kunene, you're very bold to come up here and criticize the African National Congress, knowing that the IFP has failed in most of the municipalities that you govern. So when you point and you say there's no water in Utugela, let us go to ZDM and look at what's happening there. So be bold and honest in what you're saying, and don't just come and pontificate here. Chairperson of our committee, I think it's important that what we take from this budget sitting today is that we must see the results of the audits on the officials. That is important. All sections 106 reports must come to our committee and must get updates. And we must see these forensic outcomes that have been mentioned in the speech. So I think that's important for you, Chairperson, for our committee to do our oversight role. Chairperson, I had written a very nice speech and I was going to read it, but there's just so much that I can go through in your budget, Honourable MEC, that I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to look at your budget. But there's one thing that we do need to mention, and it's a very serious matter. Why does the President of our country, President Cyril Ramaphosa, continue to disrespect the role and importance of the Zulu royal household? The family Amakhosi and Izinduna. It is widely known that this province inherited a huge financial burden when the former president, Jacob Zuma, and at that time his deputy, Cyril Ramaphosa, promised to pay Izinduna for their work. This year, the budget to pay Izinduna sits close to R500 million. This is an unfunded mandate, which means that this money must come from vital programs such as education, healthcare, infrastructure investment, and economic growth. The sad part, Chairperson, is that no one here can deny the important role that Izinduna play in our communities. In many instances, they outperform the IFP and ANC councillors in rural areas, providing a vital service. Why then, knowing the important role of Izinduna in our communities, does Cyril Ramaphosa continue to disrespect this province and the monarchy by not fulfilling the promise of the former president to pay Izinduna? There's a lot of things that I can go through in this budget, Chairperson, but I think we must never lose sight of the fact that when we talk about a budget, we must not divorce ourselves from the people on the ground. The same ANC that stands up here and speaks about this budget is the same ANC governing local municipalities which are failing. The same policies that you speak about are the same policies that they are supposed to be implementing, but that's not happening. There are a lot of things. Let us look at Umgeni, for example. We talk about accountability of municipal officials. Right next door here, just up the road, you have a municipal manager who failed most of her competency tests. And you're aware of that because my questions have come to you on that, but still she sits there. The water master plan has less than 33 million rand allocated towards it when we need 100 billion. That means that people are still going to drink with the animals and sewage is going to run into the rivers. The district development model aims to take power away from the people and add another layer of bureaucracy to pay cadres deployed to do no work. Revenue management.
Thank you very much, Honourable Papas. Thank you.
Chairperson.
Honourable Twala, on the virtual platform, are you ready?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, can we then afford Honourable Twala for 9 minutes to do his presentation? Over to you, Honourable member.
Thank you, Chairperson. I don't know what happened earlier on because from Iqala, this debate, I was on, and then the next thing, this technology kicked me off. And this one is trying to be an opportunist now, trying to take my time. I'm here. To critique this department. One wants to, on the onset, just now, the MSC, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Tito Mboweni, an hour ago, he was in Parliament addressing the Parliament, so to say. And he made a sound observation in terms of saying that economic recovery will remain elusive as long as incompetent administration and poor financial management municipalities remain unresolved. The MSC for Finance was saying just now in Parliament. It's moralizing and humanizing that we are expected to convene and applaud the budget of the most powerful in our government, when our local government is in a devastating and catastrophic state at the expense of our unable to deliver services, develop and maintain the infrastructure required by its residents, without unplanned and verifiable and accurate rates and tariffs, or a reduction in the level of services. The municipalities have no capacity to absorb financial shocks caused by the natural and political adversities without external financial assistance and dependence on grants.
Honorable Twala.
My expression is
Honorable
supported
Twala.
by numerous rating agencies.
Honorable Twala. Honorable Twala.
Reports and assessment previously performed by the Department of... Yes. Yes, Chair.
We
Yes,
want to request that you switch off your camera in order to improve your audibility. We can hardly hear you. Can you at least switch off your camera so that we can hear you?
You can hear me now?
It's much better. You can proceed now.
It's better now.
Yes, sir.
It's okay. All right. The municipalities have no capacity to absorb financial shocks caused by the political and other adversities without external financial assistance and dependence on grants. My expression is supported by numerous rating reports and assessment previously performed by the Department of Cogta in 2019. Over and above, we continue to see unfunded budget submissions made by municipalities, which is an indication of ongoing concern. Under Program 2, we observe an annual increase of 17.26% from the previous year, which are important stabilize the sphere of local government and has been escalating significantly since 2019. It is still, however, astonishing that even with such enormous escalation of annual budgets, our local government has persistent challenges such as political and
Honorable Tola, you have just gone dead. Can we request officials to call him and perhaps request him to send us his speech in writing, in whatever form, even if it means it's being dictated to. We really tried, honorable members, and we don't seem to be winning. Can I therefore request that we proceed to Honorable O.B. Gunene from the IFP with 5 minutes?
Honorable MEC Hlomuga, Honorable MEC Nkonyeni, Honorable MEC Sithole Mloyi, who are in our midst, Honorable members of the legislature. I'm forced to respond to the utterances that Honorable Papas just made. Honorable Papas must know that the Zululand District Municipality is doing its best to serve the people of Zululand with the resources that it has at its disposal. We don't need a lecture from a young man like him to tell us how to render services and how to serve the people. And the people of the Zululand District will still elect us because they know that their hopes can be entrusted on us. Whatever he might have said, he must remember that the people of Khayelitsha are complaining about poor service delivery that the DA government is providing in Cape Town. And he comes and boasts here about Cape Town. So he's better advised to keep in his lane and solve his internal party politics that he's facing. I don't want to waste my time further than what I've said. I hope it has taught him a lesson. The IFP notes the budget allocated for payment of salaries, Honorable MEC. However, we are concerned about the plight of traditional council secretaries who up to now are receiving stipends of 1,600 each per month from the department since 2007. I continue to receive telephone calls from the traditional council secretaries voicing their dissatisfaction about these stipends, which in real terms now amount to 1,000 rand. Traditional council secretaries do not enjoy any medical aid benefits and also do not belong to any pension scheme, which is very crucial to any person who is employed. It will be good for the department to submit a report to the portfolio committee indicating how much is in the coffers of each traditional council in order to see whether traditional councils are in a position financially to top up on the stipend that the department gives to the traditional council secretaries. Honorable Chairperson, the matter of his Induna payment is a powder keg that will explode at some stage if it is not resolved. The IFP calls upon the department to leave no stone unturned in pursuit of a solution to this vexing problem. It is a matter of concern, and it's a matter that should not be allowed to remain unresolved, because each day that passes by without a solution being found on this matter, the situation is likely to get worse. Let us put shoulder to the wheel and seek a solution to this problem, Honorable MC. For our part as the IFP, we are willing, if requested, to participate in a process that will seek a solution to this problem before it gets out of hand. The IFP is happy that we now have a new king. The Honorable President of the IFP, Mr. V.F. Khabisa, said, responding to the news that we now have a new king, he said, the IFP welcomes the historic appointment of His Royal Highness Prince Musuzulu Singobile Zwelithini to the throne of his father, His Majesty King Zwelithini Kabhekuzulu. We also look forward to his coronation, knowing that his reign will continue an uninterrupted lineage of leadership that has seen the Zulu nation thrive united for more than 200 years since its founding by King Shaka Senzangakhona. Close quote. Honorable Chairperson, it will be amiss of me not to salute the traditional Prime Minister of the Zulu nation and monarch, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, for the role he played during the mourning period up to the moment where the new king was announced, and the role he continues to play as the traditional Prime Minister of the Zulu nation and the monarch. The IFP is concerned about the killings of Amakosi and his Induna, and we are happy that the Honorable MC did talk about this matter in his speech. We call upon the department to prioritize finding a solution to this sketch. The IFP supports the budget, even though we remain concerned that the matter of
Thank you
traditional
very much,
council secretaries is not catered for in the
Isitha
budget.
isikhathi,
I
isitha
thank,
salendwe
I
isikhathi.
thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much. I wish to call upon Honorable S. Nkosi for 12 minutes from the ANC.
Yes,
Order.
siyakhuleka endlunkulu kaZulu kuwo wonke amakhosi asiholayo nezinduna. We also wanted to greet our Honorable Premier, his cabinet, honorable members, media and public at large. Honorable Chairperson, thank you very much for allowing us to partake in this debate on Cogta. As we do so, would want to clarify to all and sundry that Cogta is an important part of our government, because it has to show the way on how the three spheres of our government are expected to operate. Section 154 of the Constitution and Chapter 3 specifically, Section 40, subsection 1, states the following, I quote, "In the Republic, the government is constituted as national, provincial, and local spheres of government, which are distinctive, interdependent, and interrelated. That is why, close quote, that is why it is important for all of us to make sure that intergovernmental relations are maintained, because there is no big brother, no sister in the system. Cogta is expected to support and build capacity to all municipalities as per this section 154, subsection 1 of the Constitution." I wanted to quote it, but there is something that will disrupt the flow of my speech, which was well researched. Honorable Chairperson and honorable members, this point is further stated by section 71, section 131, and section 132 of the Municipal Finance Management Act. It is on the basis that the MEC will table the section 71 reports, and then the MEC for Cogta does the same as per the MFMA. Now we can see MFMA speaking to provincial government, and the Constitution speaking to three spheres of our government. I don't want to go further on that one. There is an English saying, Honorable Papas, which says, "Don't throw stones when you live in glass houses." I want to expose the house in which you find yourself, which is made up of classes. One, you are exposing to the people of KwaZulu-Natal that you don't understand the history of South Africa. Do you know that South Africa, during the British rule, the Afrikaner rule, was divided into 4 provinces? And 2 of those provinces was the Western Cape and what was it? Gauteng, Transvaal. And all the resources of our people were flushed into those 2 provinces during the apartheid as well as the British rule in this country. Yourself, you praise for us the Western Cape. The same Western Cape that robs our people in Khayelitsha of their own services, yet bombarding resources to the white-owned areas. You should be ashamed of yourself. Honorable Sonjeka indicated the Africans being used as guinea pigs. And many of those people are on the sidelines. And those that are still remaining in the DA, they must know if they are of African origin, they will be forcefully removed, because Zille and her right-wing tendencies will ensure that they are removed. The last thing that we would want to understand, is that there was a party which believed in white supremacy in this country. It was called the Conservative Party. We have been wondering, where are these conservatives? Now we are understanding that they formed what this Bupi organization called the Democratic Alliance. They are part of the right wings that were there during the times of the apartheid. Honorable Speaker, I don't want to waste my time indicating this. I want to get into the things that we dealt with as Cogta Portfolio Committee. Cogta Portfolio Committee was given details on how our government is going to operate in order to lift up the local government. Then His Excellency the President, our Premier Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma launched in KwaMashu what we call the district development model, which the MEC touched upon in his speech. This model is going to ensure that Section 154 of the Constitution of the Republic is operationalized in our own country. Because there is one thing that we know: there is no delivery that takes place in the open space, but it takes place either in the district or the ward. This model is calling upon all spheres of government to sit under one roof and plan and put forward the amount of money that they are planning to utilize in that particular area. So we are not doubting, I don't know why, I'm not doubting that the DDM will succeed in KwaZulu-Natal. It is because we have got, the National might have stolen the idea from us, from the OSS. And then the DDM model is talking to the OSS, which we brought about in 2009 as the government of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. Why it is important, Honorable MEC and your department, is to ensure that this DDM does not fail. Why I'm saying it doesn't fail is because I know that on Tuesday we are going to vote in favor of the 2 million rand that is going to be given to all district champions who are members of the cabinet in order to ensure that this is implemented. So you dare not fail. We in Cogta Portfolio Committee are going to follow up on regular basis as far are you implementing and spending the 2 million rand. I also want to indicate something that is also new in KwaZulu-Natal. You know this thing called the community service centers don't exist in the Western Cape. He knows it. Ourselves, we have got more than 30 of them. What is that? These are the centers built by the Department of Cogta in KwaZulu-Natal so that it brings services closest to our people. These are the people who voted for us. That's where they are going to get different types of services. And this is not a new thing, Cogta. We want to remind you that during the times of Dr. Meshach Hadek, he built what he called the One-Stop Development Center, where we wanted to bring services closest to our people. For you to collaborate in that idea, really you are indicating that our own government of the ANC really cares about our people. When the government in the Western Cape doesn't have even a check for services in Kailicha, our own people, poor as they are expected to go to Cape Town in order to access services. This is what I wanted to indicate. Also, I would want to speak now on the budget. I've spoken on these two. They touch upon the budget. The upgrades to the CSCs is going to cost our department not less than 32 million rand in this current financial year. Then another program that I think I have to touch upon is program 4 of your department. We understand that this program 4 is there in order to support our traditional leadership in different forms, both Amakos and Izinduna. We also wanted to indicate what Honorable Mtimande indicated. The back pay arising out of the presidential proclamation. But Mtimande should have gone further, my brother, and indicate that former President J.G. Zuma was engaged by our Premier and our own MEC for Cogta and officials around one weakness on that one. The proclamation brought the function in the province, but did not have the function followed by the runs and cents. That's where the problem is. They update us on regular basis at the department, including. We also know, we who are in Cogta, that this newly appointed MEC has already engaged minister several times and he had department around the same matter. And the matter will be followed to its logical conclusion. We know we are not, what is good to be ANC is to speak the truth as it is. We have quantified what we owe to Izinduna. It's more than 1.4 billion rand, And we are also declaring to Izinduna that we have no capacity as the province to pay that money. That's why we're engaging the national and the national treasury on the matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nkosi. I now wish to invite the Honorable MEC Somoga for 15 minutes to respond.
Thank you very much, House Chair. Again, greetings to honorable members and Nkosi Uchiliza, the Chair. Most of the issues, Chair, that have been raised by colleagues, other colleagues, they have responded to. However, let's start by welcoming the questions and comments because it do assist the department to deal with the issues raised by the members, irrespective of how you raise your matter. But it's important to note it and we go back and deal with those issues because we subscribe that there is no human being who knows everything. So it's important that we share information and we then go back and see how possible to deal with those issues raised by the honorable members, for sure, subject to availability of resources. But with the limited resources we have so far, we will try to deal with the issues and also provide support to municipalities as correctly so Honorable Nkosi has indicated that Section 154 of the Constitution warrant that the provincial and the national government must support local government, and we are doing that. But not only local government, we are also supporting traditional institutions. Having said that, Chair, I think the Honorable Governor tried to give a background on the presentation that we have made, and she made comments and support the report, but we have noted some of the comments that he made. We are going to deal with those issues, especially the issues of ESCOM and also the issue of programs, even and supporting municipalities, especially Tetewin. And Honorable Gunene Mkaya, you raised the issue of EPWP grant. We spent yonke imali EPWP, was still advocating, engaging treasurer to give us more, if possible, because you know that the ideal situation for EPWP is not just only job creation, but also to transfer skills, because while they are getting employed through EPWP, but they must also get skills so that they will able at some point to apply at any institution that they want to go to. On the narrative that we have raised, quoted the chair of NSOP, I want to believe that maybe the NSOP chair was raising his views because everyone is entitled to his views. I'm not sure if it was a report or what. However, there is no municipalities that can be taken to Section 139. It's either 139 1A, which gives a municipality a directive to say, as the provincial executive, we give you this directive to correct 1, 2, or 3, or Section 139 1B, where the provincial government take over certain functions of the municipality because of the wrongdoings that have been considering, and the provincial government being supporting that municipality, or also Section 139, which warrant the provincial government or provincial executive council to dissolve a municipality, having followed all processes. And for sure, that's why those who drafted the Constitution, they indicated that when a provincial executive council took a decision to intervene in the local sphere, you need, from Cogta side, write a report, a letter to a minister of Cogta, and the minister must respond within 28 days, but also concurrently you write a letter to NCOP. For a NCOP respond within 180 days. For sure, that's why I'm raising that, because the chair of the NCOP, he knew very well that he has a responsibility to deal with the issues of intervention as indicated in the Constitution of Republic. I can make an example of a municipality that I know, the court 3 days ago ordered to a municipality that the council took a wrong decision to appoint an acting MM, to appoint the acting CFO, to appoint an acting director planning and development. And the court directed the council to correct that. And I'm raising that because at some point there was a question that why are we putting Ingutu under administration, but the court have just revealed the reason that we have been advocating that they are correct. I'm not going to deal with the other issues that have been raised in the argument at the court 11. However, we've not at any given point used section 139 to play politics. I just ask myself, what politics can a provincial play if they put Msondozi under administration, which is run by the ANC? What politics we can play to put Ilang Albalele and Otugela under administration? No. Well,
Order, members, let us not drown the MSC, please.
yes, but we have noted also, Honorable Member, the issue of vacant post that we are trying our level best to fill, especially the critical, subject to the limitation of the resources, especially a budget. It's not true that Togozweni era don't have water. Togozweni era, they do have running water. However, because of the pump, I think, I'm not sure it was yourself, Honorable, or it was Honorable Papas, who said some of the challenges that people, they destroy pumps. So even in Togozweni, so the narrative that say people from Ntogozweni, they have 2 years without water is not true. Actually, I can confirm that for the past 2 weeks, there was a water tanker that assisted the people of Ntogozweni. But remember, the people of Ntogozweni are the one that when the municipality, they were providing infrastructure in the area and even in the township. They destroyed the infrastructure by Shisa, bengafoni ukuthi bafona certain service providers. But even local was saying they still have, we have a responsibility as government ukuthi bahambisele into Togo irrespective of what happened. I think we have not heard your point, but I think it's important just to correct that. But the point that the people all over the province, they must receive services on the daily basis. We are noting and we are taking the point that we have raised, because we need to be told on some of the issues that colleagues they are raising. I think on the issues of Honorable Umlojwa, issues of Umsondozi. That's why in the speech we just spoke about Umsondozi as a subtopic. We say we need to deal with the issues of Umsondozi because we agree that Umsondozi is under section 139, 1B. However, challenges are Quebec. That's why we're saying now we need to sit down and put more effort and monitor. That's why we're saying in the report itself, it's us who are saying these are the challenges, but we want to ensure that we employ other strategies that will assist us to assist the people of Umsondozi. We even indicated the areas or the pillars that we want to focus on them. I think on the issue of Oko, in the report we indicated that we are assisting Oko resource-wise in terms of personnel and also financially. I think other colleagues, they were commenting on the report and supporting Honorable Papa's. The analogy that you have made, you wanted to do a comparison because of 2 provinces. I think Honorable Nkos, if not Honorable Sonjika, gave you a history because it's important. It's important to understand history so that you will know where are you, because history will assist you, then you will able to plan for a future. But it's not correct to say the government of Western Cape, they are doing very well. The typical example, the typical example, because we're talking on the content of fraud and corruption, and government not doing well, especially at the local level. If I can, just to, for sure, I'm giving you the information that you know, but you might don't want to raise it here, that one of the DA councillor was found taking food relief wrongly, hence she was taken to court. A DA councillor in Cape Town. In Cape Town, yes. At least you know it. At least you know it. So it's yeah. So it's not correct that I was just responding to what you have raised, that there are a number of fraud and corruption that are taking place at Western Cape, including the leaders of that's why former MP Van Damme decided to resign because she felt that angeka sakwazi ukumela that corruption eyenzakalayo and I think the last one, Chair, is the issue of payment of izinduna. We acknowledge the challenge, and Honorable Sonjika, if I'm not sure, I think we respond to Honorable Ognen about each challenge is in Doni Kalagupi. It's an unfunded mandate, and we're not given finance or resources to fund that mandate after the proclamation signed by the President. However, we have engaged the Minister of Finance. We are hopeful. We are not going to give details now, but sooner, we hope not to, before the election, we are going to deal with the issues of the Izinduna. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. To all of you members, thank you for your good behavior. We are going, the time now is 5 minutes past 12. Can I request that we take a 10 minutes stretching break in order to enable the officials to sanitize the room? We will then reconvene at 12:15. Thank you very much. And Honorable Zungu will chair. Thank you.